everybody, welcome to the Jersey Comic Krew. We are the ones that bring you the news and reviews on your favorite comics, movies, and TV shows. That's right, I'm Rob Moran.
And I'm Chris Heller.
And on today's episode, you already know because you saw the title and you saw everything that we're talking about. We're going to talk some rumors about the Black Adam movie having a new character.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Moon Knight and possibly getting a famous actor to be the one and only Moon Knight.
Love Moon Knight.
We're going to talk about Mandalorian Episode 7, and we're going to do a full review on the Watchmen. So make sure you pay attention to the notes below and to the banner things that we're going to be down here. And if you guys don't mind, leave me a comment. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you enjoy the content. That really helps us out. So, Chris.
Yo.
I see you too have sent that.
Are we really doing this?
Oh, we're doing it.
So, context clues. So obviously it's Christmas time. We're both wearing Santa hats. I may have made a comment to Rob.
Real quick, if you're watching this before Christmas, depending on how fast Mikey is, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
If it's after, which it probably will be, we hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, cover both sides there.
Man.
So out of context, off air, I may have
say it with your chest.
No, I said.
Don't be scared
I'm
now.
Not scared. I'm laughing because I already.
You're laughing because you're afraid.
No, I laughed because I already forgot about it because it's so stupid. We were doing a test and I said, "Oh wow!" Like I looked into the camera and I was like, "Wow, my hat's so much better than your messy hat." Because it's clean and nice, and yours looks like it's been through like 3 home invasions.
You know what this is? You're Santa on the first day of the job. Nice clean hat, turned down. I'm Santa after 7 centuries. He's still running. I don't even know if we've been around that long.
I'm Santa who does his laundry then, I guess. I mean, who likes to keep his stuff pressed and clean.
I get down to business. I don't have time to worry. I worry about my elves and banging Mrs. Claus. That's all I do.
This is fixed, by the way, because before it was uneven. There was one side was higher than the other. It was a mess.
How old is your hat?
A couple years.
Yeah, mine's older than me.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
It has a date from China.
It's also a snapback.
It is. Collector's choice from Danny. Whatever that is. I thought it had the date.
Well, let's have you read things. That's always a plus.
That looks stupid.
Yeah, mine's not a snapback. Mine's a flex.
In the situations up north, you need to be able to snap it off to switch hats.
No,
you think Santa has different hats for different occasions?
You think the fictional character Santa, who does not exist, has different hats for different occasions?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We just do a podcast about Batman and Superman.
Well, that's totally real. But anyway,
Santa's real.
I don't know about that, but
he's in both series. He's in Marvel and DC.
I'd like to believe the Santa from South Park is the most real Santa. Yeah.
Why?
Because he's awesome and actually comes into town and tells people they're doing wrong things instead of just like, hey, here's a present or here's not a present, and then he has a machine gun and blows people away.
Santa's a mutant,
and he fights terrorism.
Santa fights terrorism.
Yeah, but in South Park, he legit fights terrorism. Yeah. You ever see the Christmas to? They bring Christmas to Iraq.
I
save
that.
Jesus. Great episode.
So, guys. We're going to talk about our first topic. We're going to segue. There's no nice segue for this. We're going to talk about the Black Adam movie. We know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to be Black Adam. We know it's going to be coming soon.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be The Rock as Black Adam. Yes.
Wait, we said the same thing.
No, because he's not going to be Black Adam. He's going to be The Rock playing Black Adam. The Rock doesn't change.
He's too big.
No. The Rock doesn't have an acting character that he changes into. He's just The Rock in every movie.
I want to disagree, but I can't.
There's no way.
I would. If you let me finish.
Disagree.
I said I wanted to, but I can't.
It's a universal statement. He's just The Rock.
I'm trying to think of it.
I'm not saying he's not awesome.
He's good,
but he's just The Rock. He's not really acting as a character. He's just like, yep, I'm The Rock. This is me. I'm here. Give me my check.
Jumanji was good acting.
He was The Rock.
No, he's a little kid as a Rock.
He was The Rock.
All right. Anyway, in the Black Adam movie, guys, we are going to get Hawkgirl in the movie.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Hawkgirl, you might know her from, you see the picture down below, but you might be familiar with her from Justice League. She's the girl with the flying wings, with the mace. One critical thing about her is that she's been around for years. She reincarnates, her and Hawkman.
Yes.
Thanks to, not Vandal Savage. It's
Vandal Savage was
is it Vandal?
Well, he's part of the curse. There's a book that has an ancient curse that they are destined to fall in love, Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and they're also destined to tragically. It's like a Shakespearean tragedy. They're destined to watch each other die and go through kind of the worst emotional love, feeling pain ever, only to be reincarnated, have to find each other again. And every time it's different, right? It could be they get reincarnated and they find each other immediately, and they're Hawkgirl and they're Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and they're happy. It could be one of them's married to a different person and they find each other again. Like, so their lives are completely cursed, and every time they have to relive their lives and kind of remember who they were from the past.
But the big importance, I think, for me, and I think you're probably going to be on the same page with Hawkgirl being into this, is that, you know, because of her origins, because being tied to history, you know, she's always a big history buff, and there's always this deep, like, lore of history and solving, kind of like Indiana Jones-esque. Mm-hmm. So I think with this and with the Black Adam, the mystery of Black Adam's tomb and all that, I think she might play a crucial part to, like, you know, either discovering it or being the protagonist against Black Adam in this movie.
Maybe, yeah. And we know the JSA are supposed to be in this movie, too.
Introduced in this movie?
Introduced in this movie. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and
she's a founding member.
No, she's not a founding member. I don't think she is.
I thought she was.
I don't think she is.
I'm gonna go with you because you read more.
I don't think she is, but I think obviously she gets reincarnated over and over again.
She's definitely a part of the team.
She becomes like a part of it in some way. But I think her story is going to be more into kind of like what you said. Black Adam originally comes from the Middle East, a made-up country called Kandak. That DC made up, and I think it's going to have to go into
the lore of Kandak.
That lore, like you said, like the tomb and all that stuff. The opposite side of the Shazam mythos, where like he was kind of like the first Shazam.
Yes, he was.
Before he became Black Adam, and he never he can't. His curse is he can't not say Shazam ever, because if he stops being Black Adam, he's so old he will just like literally turn to dust and die.
We've seen that. We've also seen that in a couple of like the animated movies and like TV shows. And it's always so crazy to see. You're like, oh wow, he has to send.
Yeah, and so if Hawkgirl and possibly Hawkman are both in this movie as some type of foil to, you know, that region of the world, I
think that'll be a good foil for him to fight against, because I don't think we're getting Zachary Levi in this, right?
I'm not sure. I gotta say he's got to be in it a little bit.
I think background. I don't think he's going to fight
like an introductory character,
yeah.
Unless this is, again, we don't know too much about this movie yet. It could be a timepiece. It could be more of like a Black Adam origin movie.
DC does like doing that with Wonder Woman, which doesn't look good, but this might be better.
Birds of Prey. But like, if you take no, it does 100%. Yeah. Really, we're gonna do this.
No, we're not doing
this.
You're
gonna defend Birds of Prey, right?
No,
now.
We're talking about.
But you're gonna do the face and pretend like I don't know this and defend Birds of Prey compared to Wonder Woman.
We had this fight last week.
And compare Suicide
We had
Squad.
the fight last week.
I don't understand you.
That's fine. They do.
No, they don't. They don't either. Because they hate more things than you do and I do. So if you take Hawkgirl and Hawkman, if they center their origin in Kandak, or they center their origin, they can change that easily.
Yeah.
I believe it started around Egypt because of Vandal Savage.
Yes.
If they change that to Kandak, or they keep it the same and they make it kind of like a Middle Eastern origin story, you could have this kind of very cool, like, mystical Shazam magic / almost like Assassin's Creed-esque origin where there's a lot of different things going on at the same time. And Black Adam might be in the middle of this and not even know what's going on.
In theory, they could push this movie far with Rock killing. They won't do it because it's The Rock, but they could push it at Black Adam killing Hawkgirl, Hawkman in front of the other person in the JSA in the timepiece, and it's fast forward to now, and they get reincarnated, and they're like, okay, we need help to fight this guy, and they get Zachary Levi. That could be like the end.
Do they do
like
a
the
love
after
story?
credit scenes?
Is it a love story? Does Black Adam, is he enraged because he and
Kendra
fell in love, or Shiara, whatever her original name is?
Shiara sounds right.
They fall in love, and then she finds Carter again and has to leave.
I like Adam. That because like that kind of makes him like the villain, but like
you understand
the likable villain, if you will, and then he goes and turns because of that.
Yeah,
and then fast forward.
And then you have this sequential thing where he's almost trying to break their curse to get her back.
And maybe they could do he never says Shazam. He stays like that so he can live forever to meet her again.
Exactly.
They could do that.
That'd be interesting.
Oh.
And you like it because it's lovey.
I do.
You can't argue with that.
But it's also, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean.
You can call us. We're ready.
My question is this, though, and it's still this. Like, again, The Rock.
I think they'd be better for, I think that'd be better for an animated movie. I don't know about real life.
I agree.
Or a comic book story, you know what I mean?
Here's the other thing. I don't know.
Elseworld?
like, again, I don't know if The Rock is so much a good actor or if he's just so cool because he's just The Rock. I don't know how much his acting prowess could take you down some type of different acting path that's going to have you do all these different emotional arcs within him beating the shit out of people with magic powers. You know what I mean? Like, it's, to me, I'm like, you know,
his charisma carries him.
He does, but you kind of have to live within his lanes too. That compromise of like actor / like, okay, we're clearly writing for this person. Not we're just writing the story for the character as well. We also have to write for the actor playing the character.
Okay.
So that might be a little, I don't want to say tough, but it might be a little like, you know, the storyline could be a little more basic based on his abilities and range of acting compared to just like, yeah, we want The Rock to be Black Adam because he's already freaking huge. And we don't, it's not like he has to go on a workout plan to get like this.
No.
We could literally put him in the suit and he kind of looks like him and dark fake hair and, you know, the hair and, you know, add some makeup and boom, he's ready to go. So, you know, I don't know how far that's going to take it, but it's going to be interesting to see how they do it.
I'm definitely excited. Let us know down in the comments below if you're excited for Hawkgirl being in a Black Adam movie, or even if this movie's on your radar at all. Please let us know. Now, we're moving to our second topic, guys. Moon Knight. That's right. Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, is said to be the one and only Moon Knight.
Yeah, the rumor is he's the top choice for Marvel right now.
I could dig it.
I dig it too.
Really?
I think, yeah. No,
I didn't think you would like it.
No, I do. I think he's been far enough out of the Harry Potter films that he has been for a while now creating his own acting legacy and his own movie.
And now it's time for you to jump to a new
and he wants
franchise.
And he could totally do a franchise. I think he's actually a very good actor.
He is.
It's not about Harry Potter. I think he could actually act. He's done Broadway.
Have you seen his the TBS show with him?
The one where he's like an angel and God, or with Steve Buscemi.
Yes, I've seen one episode.
I've seen a little bits in here.
It's good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But he does a lot of like the movie choices he chooses are very dark. Yeah, are very like, you know, subject hard and stuff that he has to actually engulf himself.
I mean, look at that beard.
Great beard. And I think he's far enough out of the Harry Potter limelight to one. It's 10 years since the last one. Since the very last Harry Potter movie, I think it was
wow, yeah, it's been a minute.
It's almost 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And also he's, you know, those are movies he did as a kid,
younger,
where he was like 10 to like 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he looks different now.
He looks completely different. So I think it's a far enough mode. Also, if you're Moon Knight, he's kind of a mask on half the time.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing is the one thing he is that's going to be tough to do is he is very short.
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yes.
Yeah. Really? How
very short. I believe in the 5'4" or 5'5" range.
No, he is not that short.
So I'm not not officially confirmed, but like I think he's very short.
Man, for me, I'm gonna look right now.
But if that's the case, regardless, he's definitely have to beef up a little more. He's very cut.
Oh, I think
he's gonna have to add muscle mass.
I think if he adds like 10 pounds of muscle mass, he's gonna be good.
Just 10?
Yeah, I think he's pretty cut now.
I mean, he's cut, but he's gonna have to add, you know, some weight on him. So. I personally am okay, like, not that it's our choices anyway. I think
he's 5'5". You're right. Oh my God, he's 5'5". A hobbit.
So yeah, he's a tiny dude. So if he's at one, you're gonna have to kind of do the Tom Cruise effect, where you make him look taller.
How big is Moon Knight?
I don't know for sure in the comic books. But again, this is a character that's very interesting, right? Like he has possible schizophrenia.
Multiple
personality syndrome,
which is always great for actors because they can just go crazy with it. And he does have a good range. Yeah. We've seen him in comedy. We've seen him in Harry Potter. I've seen him in the darker horror movies. He can do it.
I think he'd be a good choice. And it'd be nice to kind of see.
Oh yeah, Moon Knight's 6'2".
There you go.
Well, we're gonna see some interesting things.
So like we'll see how they do that. But I think once he bulks up a little bit, and whatever deal he gets done with Marvel, I think he'd be a great choice personally.
I have nothing but. I want to echo everything you're saying.
And also, I think we both loved Harry Potter.
I did.
And we both saw the movies.
I hope they make a reference because his schizophrenia. Like, they can make a...
Maybe.
A fourth world break.
I kind of am glad to see someone I watched acting grow up as, like, a child star actor. Like, he was the biggest child star on the planet when Harry Potter came out.
Yes.
Harry Potter. To kind of come back later on and not like die off like a lot of child actors do and they stop acting and they do like one movie every 5 years. For him to come back and like really be like, no, I'm not Harry Potter, I'm an actor, and continue his work and then possibly get another huge role in a Marvel, that's fucking cool.
And this is also a direct foil, almost. Like, Moon Knight's darker, it's bloody, it's gruesome. Yeah. There's some messed up things in the comics, and I know a lot of people out there are big Moon Knight fans. You're probably going to know a little bit more than me how crazy this stuff is. Like, stuff that, like, I could put up here, but we would have to blur out, right?
I hope
so. Like, it's a direct opposite of Harry Potter.
Yeah, it is.
Like, Harry Potter's more light. I mean, it's a little dark.
Harry Potter's dark. In England, Harry Potter was classified as horror film because it's a darker version, and there's a lot of, like, you know, jump out scary stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously here, different type of horror.
Here it's like, man,
it's fantasy.
We watch this for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, this is nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of Christmas, especially second one. Big Christmas?
Yeah.
Right?
Funny how that worked out.
Oh, Jesus. But, like, if you take, like, for instance, you take the darker Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
The crazy, funny Moon Knight style. Like, you can play a lot with that.
I think it's going to be a great role. This isn't confirmed, guys. Yeah. Just want to reiterate, this is a rumor that we wanted to discuss with you.
Yeah.
So, take the moment. Comment down below if you think this is a good idea. I've seen some people have some fan castings of Keanu Reeves and other actors out there. Let us know down in the comments below who you want Moon Knight to be, or if you even care about Moon Knight. I think it's something that you definitely need to watch on your radar. Mm-hmm. If you like Deadpool, but you want a little bit more serious and a little bit more mentally disturbed, then comedy. So, speaking of mentally disturbed, The Mandalorian. He is a whack job. And episode 7 is fantastic.
It's great.
This episode kind of ties up everything we've seen in the previous episodes, like we were talking about. So we've seen...
Oh, wait, before we talk about episode 7, how did you like episode 6?
It was good.
Did you like the Bill Burr stuff and everything? And
it's good and not great.
Did you catch all the references and stuff?
What do you mean?
With Bill Burr, where he's like, I'm not a stormtrooper, jackass.
That was great. That was the best line in the whole movie.
And he's like, oh, Misa don't want to show your face?
Yeah, that was
he's
good.
Like, I bet he's a gungan under
I thought he killed them all, but he put them in jail. I was like, oh,
yeah, that was
clever.
Awesome.
And then he dropped them off. I was like, oh. Like, I was just surprised left and right at the end of episode 6. I was like, oh. He killed them all, and now he's going to kill this one. No, he drops them off. Oh, he put the tracking beacon. They're all going to die. I was like, wow, he just killed the whole crew. Oh, nope, he just killed that one person, and then the other ones are in prison. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
No, good episode.
Moving on to episode 7, guys.
Yeah.
This makes the season for me. This makes the show for me because I was very worried that it was going to be very episodic, and they were really going to tie into each other, or maybe very loosely. This one, you know, we get. Oh, what is his name? The bounty hunter guy.
What, Mandalorian?
No, not him. The one for the guild.
Oh, Carl Weathers' character?
Yes, Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers pretty much calls Mando back. He's like, listen, come back. This guy's running a riot. He's got more former Empire. You come in, we set the trap, and we kill him. Before he does that, he does pretty much like a who's who of the galaxy. He goes back, and he gets that rebel gunner, she's beautiful, by the way.
Carreno, yep.
Yeah, she's going to kick ass. And then he goes, the I have spoken guy, gets him back to watch the baby.
Quill, yep.
And he brings the little dinosaur people.
But he also he brings the blurgs, but he also brings IG-88, who he found and kind of rewired to be like a protector droid.
I thought he was going to connect with...
Spoilers, by the way, for episode 7.
Of course. I thought he was going to connect with the one chick on that desert planet who watched the baby for a little bit.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to get her involved.
Oh, I didn't think that at all.
No, you knew he was going to get the I have spoken?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, because he's, like, once the episode started, I was very happy because, one, I was like, yes, I was right last week when I was talking to Rob about it. Because we were talking about the episodic stuff, and I was like, no, I think it's going to tie up, and, like, there'll be kind of like a cliffhanger.
Great cliffhanger.
And I was like, I think we're going to get it tied up because we've seen the episodic stuff, and, like, you saw all these, like, very good characters for, like, one episode. And I'm like, there's no way they're just going to leave that there. Like, he's got to go back and somehow bring them into something. Mm-hmm. So I was very happy to see that. And I was also, like, the way they kind of flowed through it, to me, it made all those other singular episodes make more sense.
They did.
Where it's like, okay, not only has he been on this journey, but, like, here's the stuff that you can't get from face value. One, because you can't see his face. But two, like, the amount of dialogue he has isn't that much. So it's very much like we're basing it off of, like, do I think this and is this going to happen? Mm-hmm. Like, is this going to follow through with something, or is this kind of like, should I pay more attention to this or no? So yeah, I thought it was great. I thought the The plan was great. I was very skeptical with Carl Weathers at the beginning.
Yeah, you knew it was a trap, right?
You knew it was a trap. But I was glad that he switched over after we.
Dude, how crazy! That awesome scene was a freaking dragon came out of nowhere and just ripped Carl Weathers' arms off. And then he's flying around and eats the freaking thing they were cooking. Picks up the dinosaur chicken piranha guy, takes him away, picks the other one up and drops him on the floor like he's a dead fish.
The blurgs.
I like the way I call them.
He's just saying random shit as like everyone's supposed to understand. It's like
the dinosaur piranha man. They get it.
But that was they were taking those.
On a serious note, for the casual fans like myself, when I say...
Well, I didn't know what a blurg was before this anyway. Like,
even if they watch this, are they going to remember blurg? Is that? Or are they going to remember, the piranha dinosaur weird looking thing?
I think they're going to remember blurg. Because I think...
Let me know that in the comments if you remember blurg or the dinosaur piranha animal man
But
thing.
I think because blurg is also how they kind of look and sound and move. Like, when you look at it, you're just like, blurg. Like, that kind of... It matches them very perfectly.
All right. So the crazy dinosaur.
I've spoken.
Oh, good one. Very good. I can't say deny that. So
it is the way.
The dragon picks up the blurg. It takes him away for dinner.
Pterodactyl dragon.
And then And then the other one picks it up and drops him. And I guess he died because after that, just the one I was like, you fell 5 feet, blurg. Are you serious?
That was me too. I was like, I thought there was 2 left, and Erica's like, no, the other one fell on top of it. I was like, he barely got him. Like,
yeah, he picked him up.
Dead.
The dragon, that was so cool. Those whatever they were. And then Baby Yoda goes up to him, and he's like, watch this. No more wiggle foggy style. And he does a little Jackie Chan adventures and heals his arm.
Jackie Chan
and Carl Weathers is like, man, that baby's awesome. We gotta keep him.
Yeah, and like we see our first basically canon visual of Force healing.
Shit! That's why that's so important.
Which is what you do.
Aside from me,
it's not like I do a podcast about it.
But I like Baby Yoda doing Jackie Chan adventures.
But like that's our first real live. Like you don't see that in any other movie or the TV stuff. You see our first big.
Do you see that in the animated shows?
Not really. No. The Force healing, not as much.
Not as much. So we've seen it.
I don't think so. I can't remember in Rebels. No, and because. Like, there's a major character in Rebels, Kanan, who goes blind. And in my head, like, while watching it for the first time, I was like, oh, someone's going to, like, he's going to somehow get force healed and, like, have his eyesight, and that never happens. And instead he...
Lazy writing. No.
Instead he actually heightens his force ability to basically be, like, a badass Jedi who doesn't have to see.
Daredevil.
Kind of, yeah, with a lightsaber. But then,
lazy.
But then, like in Clone Wars, I don't remember anything to do with force healing as well.
Do they bring up force healing in the comics?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Anybody I know who
expanded universe? They do a lot.
No, not expanded. That doesn't count.
I know,
anymore.
but I'm saying like in the
that's canon now. Anybody that me and the rest of the people at home?
No, definitely not.
Cool. So Baby Yoda can do force healing.
Yeah,
you're welcome. But Carl Weathers, he turned around. By the way, when he pulled out those double guns and shoot the guys behind him,
he was quick, man.
He was very quick. He was too quick.
It was awesome.
I was like,
Apollo Creed, man. Jab.
No, Mando would have died. No, he had the armor.
Oh, he had the armor, yeah.
The hot lady rebel would have died.
Shot him in the neck.
Yeah, let's see. Well, maybe.
We're also missing one big piece too. So
yeah, that was cool.
When they're on the ship, there's a scene where Mando and
go ahead.
And I forget it. What is her name in this show? I keep forgetting.
Sexy rebel gunner.
Sure.
The third.
So
her mother. Don't start about the mother.
They're arm wrestling, and Baby Yoda kind of like sees it as like, oh, she's hurting him, like because like he's struggling, right? Like they're kind of like just like chilling there, arm wrestling. And in my head, I'm like, why are they arm wrestling? Like, what is this scene about? Like, this is almost stupid.
They're just killing time, right?
And like they're arm wrestling, and then Baby Yoda like force chokes the shit out of her, like evil force power. Like he looks mad, and
he's like.
And she's like, and he's like, no, and he like picks him up, and he's like shaking him.
She's my friend. He's like, I don't like new mommy.
So like it was crazy, but that was also really cool and it makes sense because again, even though this child is 50, this Baby Yoda character, it's still a kid. Like
he's a grown man.
He's a grown ass man.
He's a grown man who should play.
He doesn't know the difference between the good and evil side. Like so, whatever he feels is going to come out of him automatically. So,
but that's cool because we've seen like because technically force choking is evil, right? We've associated with evil, even though like force is there's neither good nor bad, I guess, right? Is that the great Jedi way?
It's how you use it.
Yeah, right. It's how you use it.
So it's an evil thing you do with it,
but the healing is good.
Well, yeah, healing is good. So
do they? Never mind. I was gonna ask a spoiler.
Let it go.
I had a thought spoiler because I haven't seen Star Wars, the new one.
Yeah, still hasn't
He has. I'm gonna go see it in a day or two. I was gonna ask if they bring up Grey Jedi, but I don't want that answer. Don't look at me. You can make a face to the camera.
I'm fine. I'm not gonna.
You can make a face. Go ahead.
I'm not making a face because you're gonna see it anyway later when you have to edit. So that doesn't.
Mikey's editing. Oh no! Don't do it, Mike. Mike, you want to kill you? Mikey's like, what did you do, Rob?
No. I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, like. So they get there, Carl Weathers turns on his own men.
Yep.
And he's like, listen, the original plan was to actually betray you. But I can see how important this child is and why.
That's because he healed his arm.
Yes, but also, like, if we put this in the hands of the Empire, or what's left of the Empire, this could be bad for everybody. Here's the new plan. And let me know if you guys are in. And they are. So they go back to... the guy who originally set out the bounty, the awesome German guy. Yeah. With a great voice.
Yeah, he's a good voice. A lot of stormtroopers everywhere.
A lot of stormtroopers. And they come in with a new egg that the I've Spoken guy is making.
Yes, good.
Quill, I believe his name is.
Is that the I've Spoken guy?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, Quill. And so Quill makes a new egg that, again, gets controlled through his buttons on his arms. Yeah. And they kind of have this new plan where, like, the baby's not in the egg. He's with Quill, and he's like, take him back to the ship and lock the ship down.
So let me ask you a question, because the big reveal, obviously, the Empire comes in, turns on the German guy, pretty much kills everybody, tries to take him, and then we see the guy from Breaking Bad. What's his name?
Yes, Giancarlo Esposito, I believe.
Who's he supposed to be? Because he has black armor.
Yes, he is.
I know that's something, but
he is a Moff general.
A Moff?
Yes.
Like the animal, the insect?
No, Moff. Moff.
Moff.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So in the original Star Wars, there's a character in the movie called Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, I know him.
And he's the older guy who you also see in Rogue One, younger.
Yeah.
And in the very last shot of Episode 3, he is like the general who he's a guy who works for the Empire, for the Emperor specifically. Okay. And he takes orders directly from the Emperor. So he's very high in like the standings. He's also like politically high up on the food chain. He would be like, above like a senator, like a, governor.
I got it. So now this guy, does that mean somebody's still pulling the strings in the Empire and it's not just like these random people?
I do. I think it means that whoever is left of the Empire, the highest ups, whatever Moffs are left, whatever governors are left, whatever politicians that were part of the Empire, and whatever systems, meaning planets, that were in that centralized government system, whoever is left is somehow either trying to bring the Empire back and slowly regrowing it, almost like the opposite, right? Like the rebels, how they went to their sympathizers and started growing it. I think that's what they're doing. And
are they planting the seeds for the new order? The First Order?
They gotta be.
Right? Those have to be the guys who eventually turn into the First Order.
They gotta be at least planting the original seeds, or this is like, hey, this is whatever was left of the Empire before it was taken out completely, and before the First Order.
How many years from this to Episode 7?
So this is 5 years after 6. So this is another probably like 15 years.
So this is that makes sense. This is like the groundwork to set up the First Order, because Kylo Ren didn't create the First Order. He joined it and was recruited essentially by Snoke, who was wasted and is fucking terrible. But maybe he gets used in the new movie. I don't think so, right? Don't tell me. Don't look at me. Don't look at the camera. But spoiler cliffhanger at the end. Mr. I Have Spoken dies.
Well, yeah, that was kind of easy to see.
I thought he would make it.
Once the guys left on those speeders, I'm like, oh.
How did they know?
Blurg ain't outspeeding that.
No, how did they know, though? Mando said it on his communication.
I think they either hacked through the communication.
Right?
Well, remember also when they were in there, so they're hiding kind of in there, and they're like, our comms are jammed, and he's like, Quill, do you hear me, Quill? Even though Quill could kind of like still hear it, but he's running with the baby.
You think Mando triple-crossed?
No,
Not Mando, Carl Weathers?
No, I don't, because Carl Weathers was, we could have seen that, but when they're in there, he's like, she makes a comment like, oh, there's only supposed to be 4 stormtroopers. And he's like, we gotta deal with it. Like there's 6 instead of 4. Yeah. I thought there'd be 4, but I guess it's not.
And there's so many out in the quad? Or the open area, not the quad. We're not.
Yeah, so and he lands his cool fucking TIE fighter that the wings bend over each other.
Right.
So I've been waiting to see him the whole time because I'm like, I know he's in this show. So what is he doing? But yeah, so basically the 2 stormtroopers catch up. They take Quill down and get the baby, and they shoot him in his blurg, and they scoop up the baby like Polo style and just ride back off into the sunset. So yeah,
how does the show end? What do you think is going to happen?
I think we haven't seen the Mandalorians for episode 3 that came and saved him.
No, they can't do the same thing and save him again.
But I think they're going to be a part of it.
What do you mean?
I think the Mandalorians are going to come out and be a part of it again.
I don't think they're going to come out and fight the Empire and do that.
But I also think Carl Weathers' guild is also there. So I think he's also calling in all the bounty hunters that are on planet. It's going to be like, hey, you want to get paid? You want jobs? Come save my...
Huzzah! All of us together. One for all for one, and kill them.
Yes, but I think we're also going to find out a little more about what the Empire's plan is with this Baby Yoda.
We're going to find out why he hates droids? No.
I mean, we kind of found that out, right?
Why?
We see the flashbacks where the droids are destroying his city and killing everyone he loved. Yeah. And his parents are hiding him. That's why he hates droids. It's kind of simple. I don't think that's a big deal. I think the big deal is why the Empire wants this Baby Yoda. Do they know about the Force powers? Because we've seen not only the Mando and a bunch of other characters, supporting characters around him, that are like, hey, he has this power. I don't really know what this is, but it's special. And they don't really know it's the Force. You know what I mean? Because, again, they don't know, because Luke Skywalker's somewhere else doing Luke Skywalker stuff at the moment. So we'll see. It's going to be a really crazy last episode, and I'm very excited.
So, guys, that lets us know where we stand with Mandalorian Episode 7. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the episode and the series as a whole. Is this the new flagship for Star Wars? Is this the new way they're going to go? Are you excited for Episode 8? Let me know down below. I really liked it, and let me know if you're getting any Baby Yoda stuff for Christmas, and also, or if you did already.
And also, Deborah Chow, who directed Episode 3, which we also loved, which is the one where all the Mandalorians...
Yeah, she did this one.
She did this one?
No, who did it? No, yeah, she did.
She did.
Favreau did 6.
No. David Fukuyama, I think his last name is, who's in all 3 of them are in the X-Wings that come in the end.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Dave Filoni, Deborah Chow, and Fukuyama are the directors, and they blow up the station that Mando sets it up with.
When are we going to be in one of these?
Oh, man,
tomorrow?
I would love to.
You want to do it tomorrow?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it tomorrow.
We'll get little people planes.
So she's in that. She directed this episode as well, and Taika Waititi's doing the last episode.
Ooh.
So, and we got to see IG-88 because he's got to come out and help them.
He's got to help out and shoot Kobeme.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our last topic, guys. Yes, The Watchmen. We're going to do a review of season 1. This show is so good, and nobody's freaking talking about it.
Thank you for taking my line already.
Yeah, I know. I can't express to you how much I love this show.
I love this show.
This show, one of the biggest appeals for me for this show is the mystery behind everything.
Yes.
Because each episode lays more questions and foundation blocks. And it's, I don't want to say a murder mystery, but it kind of gives you that vibe all right, who done it? What's going on? What's the truth? How does this all work? And you're just pulled in naturally. And it's not like I'm sitting there trying to make myself more engaged. And I'm a fan of The Watchmen, but I want to say I'm a casual fan of Watchmen. I watched the movie. I read most of the book. I didn't even finish the book. Sacrilege, I understand.
Sacrilege.
Years ago, and I haven't picked it up because I lost my copy. Sacrilege, I know, I understand. I have to buy a new one.
You're the worst comic fan ever.
I'm honest.
It's why? I would have just not said any of that.
Because some people like that.
No, they don't. They're like, how are you talking about this without even reading it?
Well, I read it now.
This is the direct sequel to that book.
It is.
And it's amazing.
No, I'm saying before the show. I didn't read it. But during the show, I've since read it.
Okay.
Yes.
There will be a test.
Oh, I'm ready. Anyway, yes, it's a direct sequel to that. Many of you who haven't read the book and you have just watched the movie or know what's going on in the Watchmen universe, you could jump in. And even if you haven't, I think the show does a very good job at making this new user-friendly, that you could jump in without knowing anything about this world. Because it does a very good job of laying the foundation blocks for what happened in the 1940s and 50s with the superheroes, with the vigilantes, with Dr. Manhattan. And I think many of us comic book nerds and even just pop culture fans know of Dr. Manhattan, even if you don't watch anything. Like, you know, it's like Superman almost. Like, oh, he's the blue guy with the big blue penis, and he has the powers that can do anything.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't even think of it as that. Even like, to me, this is the blackest show on television that no one's talking about. And it's absolutely amazing. It centers around.
Explain why you say it's a black.
I'm going to. It literally just centers around probably one of the worst instances in American history that no one talks about. In Oklahoma, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in like the 40s, where basically there was in Tulsa, it was almost like Black Wall Street. It was known as Black Wall Street. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of middle class African Americans who set up shop there, and the economy was thriving there, and the business were thriving there. They had jobs, they had houses and everything, and it was a great place to live. And basically, the Southern racists came in and basically did a purge, like a real purge happened in this country, where like these the KKK and all these like white supremacists came in and killed everyone. They used planes, like crop dust planes.
And they show that.
They burned buildings down. They killed people in the streets. There were lynchings. There were hangings. And it is like one of the darkest marks on American history ever. And hundreds of people died. One of the biggest massacres ever in American history, and no one talks about it. It's not it. Like, I never read about it in my own history books.
I've never read about it.
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I didn't.
As like half black, I didn't even know this instance happened. Yeah. Until I watched this show. Didn't they do a Q&A, the writer of the show, the creator? Yes, David Lindelof did a Q&A. Mark Bernardin hosted it. Yep. From Fat Man Beyond. You can listen to it on Fat Man Beyond. He actually recorded it.
And make sure you comment, say Jersey Comic Krew sent you, so they were like, oh, we know that.
We know them not.
we know that. We know Jersey. Yeah, we know comics. And we know those words individually, not together. Go ahead. But
as someone who is a history buff in general, to not know something that big was very
eye-opening.
It was eye-opening. It was shocking, and it was a little heartbreaking. To not know something that big and have some type of connection to it, was very uncomfortable. And the way they did it was masterful. It was from the very first scene of this show, which is the eye-opening, like, everyone's getting killed, and you have this family putting their son in a wicker basket, trying to drive him out of town, but while this is going on.
Very reminiscent of Superman.
Yes, very Clark Kent, get him off the planet before it explodes.
Like, there's not enough room for me, it's you, go. And that's something, like, I like seeing that trope. Yeah. And I think it just, like, kind of, like, I don't want to say lulls us into a false sense of security, but it kind of, like, conditions us, and we know that, like, oh, they're putting a baby here to move on. They've done this even like back in biblical times. Like, oh, the baby must survive. They put the baby
Moses. Moses in the basket down the river.
Put him down the river. Like, this is something we've seen throughout history. And it's like, all right, the parents are sacrificing so that the future could live on. Like, our generation is sacrificing so the future could live on. Yeah. And then that future and that child became the first vigilante.
Which, again, and I was telling Rob this too, and we're obviously going to talk about the show in full. We those of you who listen to us for a while and watch us for as long as we've been on,
thank you.
But we always do this like top 5 list at the end of the year, which will be next week. Our top 5, like everything: TV, movies, comics, video games. And I, when they did the Hooded Justice episode,
oh my god, how good was that?
Episode 6 of Watchmen.
Not
only was it the greatest, probably 1 hour of television I might have ever seen in my life. It's like also probably solidifies this as the best show this year, hands down. But it, to me personally, it might be the greatest African-American black origin story I've ever seen in any medium.
I think I
comic books,
stand with you on that.
Like fantasy, any type of medium, I think it was hands down the greatest origin story.
It's arguably one of the best just origin stories, period.
Yeah.
I would even go above the black. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, Superman X story in the beginning, he becomes a cop. Mm-hmm. And the racial tension that's there, he can't even do his own job. The cops are coming against him and beating him.
And there's also racist cops in the force that are doing stuff.
He gets lynched, survives, still has a noose around him, and is still motivated to do good. Puts the hood on for some reason and tries to save that person. And then he just keeps going, and you see him developing that. And then you find out that he is homosexual, wants to be with the other hero. And that hero just pretty much was to use him as a token, and he still has to survive that and push through that.
But not only that,
and he loses his family because he wants to protect others. It was,
and he also does
very, very well written.
The biggest thing I think was every time he put on the outfit, he had to put white makeup over his eyes, so that everyone would think he was white, because the other heroes wouldn't take him seriously or not listen to him if they brought this black guy in who was a part of this, and they'd be like, all right, man, whatever.
And the first vigilante being black, they wouldn't care. I don't think it would have had the same effect. So he had to change to be white, and that also just shows the injustice at the time. I'm like, all right, why does it matter? But apparently it needed to. He needed to be a beacon. Well, he didn't need to, but he became one. Yeah, and the world started to change for the better. But him doing this set up, this domino effect, and you can see this playing out. The events from the 40s and 50s, you see it tipping over the dials all the way to get into Dr. Manhattan, to creating a new world on the second moon of Jupiter, to creating this new life, to creating pretty much everything from that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah, and
it's masterful television.
It is, and
that we can't even do justice explaining.
No, it's amazing, and I thought also one of the greatest things was the parallels between Hooded Justice, who ends up being Angela's grandfather, who Regina King, Angela Abar's the main character.
She was great in this.
Phenomenal. She's won Oscars. The second I was like, Regina King's doing Watchmen? Oh, this shit must be amazing, because why would she not do her Oscar movie stuff to do an 8-episode run of Watchmen on HBO?
I can almost, she was so good, and oh god, that dog, he just farted. Sorry. Woo! Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Or his breath. His breath is also bad.
But just seeing this whole one season, and her acting in it, and the whole story, it kind of wraps up at the end, but it leaves a cliffhanger.
Yes.
I would be happy if they left it like this. That's how good this first season is. It answers so many questions. It could do more things, but if they wanted to end it, I wouldn't be upset. It feels like a full story, but I know we're getting more out of it. And the end scene, I know we're jumping, but I want to, we're spoiling, of course. But do you think? Do you think Dr. Manhattan put his essence into the egg?
I think one, genius.
Yes,
because it's something you overlook. He's like, "What are you doing? I'm making pancakes." And
watch the eggs.
Watch the eggs, and she throws them on the ground, and she gets mad. Also, the fact that Manhattan was Cal the entire time.
That was a beautiful shocker. And then she had to get the little piece out and then explain that.
Yes.
I think they did a very good job in this series. I know we were talking about the egg, but we're jumping. It's fine. Explaining how Dr. Manhattan lives. How he's everywhere at one point and he's not. And they do those cuts back and forth.
Just like the comic book too.
Yes.
Where
but I think it's displayed better here, and it's easier for I don't want to say common people, but for your average fans to get into and grab a hold of.
Oh yeah,
because throughout when you watch the whole series and you watch these couple episodes, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here, but I'm also 30 years from now, and we just had a fight.
Yes, blah blah blah.
We just had a fight. We almost ended, and then something happened, and it went dark. I don't know. And then he's like, "Oh, this is the moment I fell in love with you. Wait, what are you talking about? We've been together forever. You asked me when we first met, and he lives at the same. It's
time isn't linear for him. It's just omnipresent.
Yes,
and he's in it every point all at the same time.
That was done well. And you actually feel like you're understanding how he views and how he thinks,
Also, Yaya was phenomenal. He's just amazing.
He was great.
Amazing.
And I like how they the workaround for how he looks when he goes back into the blue form.
Yes.
Because when you go into the blue form, I don't care what kind of person you are, you think visually to the comic / the movie.
Yeah.
Because the comic and the movie, they're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's what Dr. Manhattan looks like. And he come out and he looks like the actor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because like he's not fully there because he got injured or because of the device.
The device.
So like he phases in between the two.
And that's what Angela was happy with him looking like, so he stays like that because he fell in love with her. And
yes.
I thought that storyline with Angela and her being Sister Knight, and then you go back and see Angela's kind of origin where her family's in like, what is it, Vietnam.
Yep.
And they're stationed there because they're military, and then they get killed with a terrorist attack. And then her grandmother comes to pick her up and dies in the cab while about to take her back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like, all this crazy stuff happens to this poor girl.
Let me get back
in a very small amount of time.
You know, thinking of the future and thinking of that last scene.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when they first met, she made a joke. Oh, can you put your essence in this egg and let me walk on water?
Yeah.
She eats the egg. Do you think she's going to have the ability just to walk on water? Or you think she's going to have all of Manhattan's abilities?
I think she's going to have...
Or some, you know what I mean? Because I essentially he's God. He could divvy it up however he wants, right?
I think he's going to, like, he put something in the egg. She's going to be able to walk on water and she'll have his powers. But it won't be like she doesn't become him. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he planted that, like, to me,
a seed that'll grow into more power over time.
No, not even that. Like, I think the fact that they chose an egg has to mean something, right? Like, why not a muffin or a bagel?
Chicken. What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
I think because the egg is the product of reproduction, and the egg is the product of a slow birth where it starts out as an egg but grows into something else. Okay. I think her eating the egg might not be like, hey, I'm going to walk on water. It might be, hey, I'm now pregnant, and I'm going to give birth to Dr. Manhattan all over again.
Oh.
Like, I'm starting his life cycle over.
Like the chicken, yeah, like what I was saying. Like what came first, chicken or the egg?
Chicken or the egg. Like, I think that might be, hey, his life cycle is now restarting in me as a child.
Oh, and he never said anything.
Yeah.
Or maybe he doesn't know because it didn't happen yet. No, that doesn't make sense. It's not linear. Well, maybe maybe a second life, and he gets the memories of his first life.
Or he doesn't.
Maybe that what
like,
it is?
Either way, because... He was correct where he's like, after it ends in tragedy, I don't remember anything because he's basically destroyed.
Yeah.
But if he's in the essence of the egg and then she births, you know, a child who has that, like, the symbol, that could be
I can see that. And then it's him again, and from Second Life, he has his own memories, but nothing of the new. I don't know. They could do anything.
But everything.
And maybe when she's pregnant, she has powers.
Maybe.
She used some of it. Kind of like in Flash with, what's her name? That Eustace character? The attorney?
Who?
In Flash?
In the show?
Yeah.
Which useless characters? A lot of them. Caitlin?
No.
Cisco?
Joe's woman.
Oh, Cecile.
Yeah. How she had powers and then when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then
that's right. Yeah.
And now she's normal and now she still has them. Maybe they could do like stuff like that. What?
She's pretty.
She's pretty. Very pretty. It's okay.
Useless, but.
All right. I do want to talk about not Silver Sable.
What, the
Silk Spectre? No, Silk Spectre.
Oh yeah.
What's her name?
Laurie Blake.
Yeah. What's her superhero name though?
She was the second Silk Spectre.
Silk Spectre. Yes.
Yeah.
I do like her whole arc.
Mm-hmm.
You know, starting out being anti-vigilante, but being, you know, she was a vigilante, Silk Spectre. She was with Dr. Manhattan, and then she turned completely against vigilantes, and then she went full circle trying to help him at the end. She wasn't a big role, but she was a reoccurring concurrent role that I think they did a well arc with her.
And when she was in it,
she was good.
I liked it.
Speaking of, you were talking about the Mirror Man.
Yeah,
he was definitely the guy with the lube, right? Remember there was that one guy running in the street and he got silk and he slid underneath? That was him, right?
I don't know if it was him, was it?
It has to be, because they never mention it. I think it's him.
Maybe. But wait, before we get off of Laurie Blake.
Go ahead, go back to Laurie.
There was a really actually kind of smart but funny thing online that kind of centers this whole show around her. So the episode where that she gets introduced and goes to Tulsa, Oklahoma with like the new guy and then she ends up banging him and
yeah.
She has a giant blue dildo
I know.
Like the Dr. Manhattan dildo called Excalibur.
Yeah, it was funny.
Which is hilarious. The whole show can be broken down into like the mystery of Dr. Manhattan with that dildo.
What?
So, hear me out.
I'm so glad we did the end of the episode.
And that's it.
No, tell me.
So basically,
let me get comfortable.
So basically, Angela's husband's name is Cal, right?
Yeah.
Angela and Cal are the A-bars.
Yeah.
And Lori Blake, when she was Silk Spectre, used to date Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
So Dr. Manhattan was her ex.
Yeah.
If you break down the word Excalibur, it says Ex-Cal A-bar. It tells you exactly who he is.
That's a coincidence.
The whole show is about a blue dick.
That's a coincidence. Maybe not.
Blue dick.
Because at the same time he was with her, he was also with Abigail. That slut.
Well,
Miss Dr. Manhattan, keep it in your pants.
His time isn't linear, so he's experienced everything at the same time.
Is that kind of cheating?
No, not for him, no.
Why? Because it's all happening at the same time for him. Technically, he's cheating on her.
But technically, it's also already happened. And it's already over.
Oh.
So currently, like in 2019, Lori Blake is her age now. That's over. He can also just experience it almost like a memory back when it happened in like the 70s and 80s.
Interesting.
So, Ex-Cal A-bar.
I think
tells you the whole thing.
I think
the whole show.
Go. That's awesome.
The whole show. But yeah.
Vendetti?
Who?
Vendetti?
Vendetti.
No. Oh my God. Adrian Veidt. Why did I say
Adrian
Vendetti?
Veidt. I'm like, Rob Vendetti, the writer?
No, Adrian Veidt.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons, phenomenal actor.
Phenomenal in this role.
Was actually absolutely amazing in this role of Adrian Veidt.
The whole dropping the mini squids just to keep everybody on their toes.
Amazing.
Smart.
The fact that we find out that he actually asked Manhattan to be sent to Europa.
Right.
The twist that the crazy lady was his daughter.
That was only a worthy opponent. Like, and he makes reference to like the night guard or whoever he appointed, one of his clones, one of those clones that they keep making Dr. Manhattan.
Yes.
And he's like, was I a worthy adversary? No.
No.
But then when he walked in and then he got turned into a gold, I thought he was done. I was like, oh, she killed him. Oh, this was all part of it. And he was like, the statue.
No, that was to preserve him.
Yeah, but I didn't think that. Like, in that scene and me watching, I'm like, oh, that, I was like, when I first saw him out, I was like, oh, that's why, because, you know, she somehow made him into gold or he died and did that. I was like, that had to be the connection, right? I was like, oh, she killed him and brought it back as a trophy. Oh, no, wait. She brought it back so she could see it, and then he kills her, and he's like, I finally had a word of the adversary.
Yeah.
I liked the whole arc with them two together. It worked well.
I loved his arc. Like, he basically did all his scenes alone, if you think about it, because the two people that were with him, they had to, like, CGI a billion of them, and he did, like, his stuff was... It was him really and then good.
Those two people, but he couldn't really play off them because they had to be dumb.
Exactly. They had to be very basic. And,
they had to be very stoic. But, like, when you first found out that there were multiple, and in that chamber, he incinerates one, and so there was real tears, I was like, holy shit, man. Yeah. What are you doing?
It's nuts.
And then he fishes the babies out from the river.
Yes. Like, he was just there kind of having a ball and out of this world that Manhattan created, and
why was he sent there again?
He asked for it. He wanted to leave Earth because Earth was under him and it wasn't smart enough. He was bored. He was bored. He wanted to be in a perfect Europa that like made sense to him.
And then when he got to Europa,
he's so brilliant that like
he hated it, and he knew his daughter would come because of the conversation. That's why he had X amount of years that he had to kill.
He timed it out to when she could get to him.
So good,
so smart. But like, yeah, I thought he was great. I love the jury scene where he just like farts in the middle of the jury. Like,
yeah, because he doesn't care.
And he doesn't, because he knows like nothing's going to happen to him.
That was funny. They let all the pigs out. I was like,
all the pigs out.
Look at them being clever.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like, you know, when you realize he's actually going up to the moon to like rearrange the bodies to make a message.
That was cool.
And they let you see the help me, but not the daughter section.
Yeah, I didn't see it. That was so smart.
So smart.
He saw help me, but then he said daughter. He admitted that it was her daughter, and like he said, I would never do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that was great.
Who's your favorite character in this thing?
I love.
You know what? Let's do favorite scene.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about favorite character. Because we already kind of talked about all the characters. So, what's your favorite scene in this movie?
Hands down, my favorite scene, episode 6, which again might be the best hour television I've ever seen, where Hooded Justice's origin's happening, and it's the moment where the cops he works with take him to hang him, and he realizes that the cops are a part of Cyclops, and
the whole thing.
Yeah, the organization that is like, you know, basically the next version of the next level of white supremacy and the next level of the Ku Klux Klan, in a crazy way. They almost lynch him and hang him, and then they basically put a scare into him, and he's kind of just sitting on the ground with a noose around his neck, like, again, breathing like his heart's going to come out of his chest. He almost died. And he kind of just looks at his hands, and like it's at that moment that superhero is born. Like, you literally see on screen the moment that he becomes more than just a man, or more than just a cop, or more than just a father, or a husband, or a hidden gay man. He becomes like Hooded Justice in that moment, and he does this thing where he like is about to take the noose off his neck and then just leaves it on. And that was one of the most brilliant like scenes I've ever seen on television.
For me, I've already talked about this scene. I think that's my favorite, but to be a little different, I think I really enjoyed, I guess the moment really that when the corrupt corrupt congressman goes into the tank and he's all cocky.
He gets turned to goo.
And he was going to get Dr. Manhattan's powers, and then Vight's daughter, I forget her name, comes in and is like, oh, well, we know he's, let's get him out. And he turns into goo. He's like, oh, that's what happens when you don't, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, with the radiation or whatever.
Yeah, I kind of like that, because like that smugness of that character ended in such a just way.
There's so many good scenes. Also, with that scene I forgot to mention, where he's kind of seeing his origin, that's also the same episode where Angela swallows all the nostalgia pills.
And relives everything.
So, like, as he's going through it, it switches to her going through it, too. So she's, like, flipping back and forth. And the way they did the transitions were, like, flawless.
That's my favorite episode.
Flawless.
I'm with you. I just had to say something different.
Well, also, I'll go with episode. This. Another great scene, to me, which is almost that whole episode, the conversation between Manhattan and Angela when they just meet at the bar, and he's like, you're gonna have dinner with me tomorrow night, and then he's doing it's this time, and she's like, well, if you're Dr. Manhattan, blah blah blah, like, and that to me was an amazing, more dialogue-y.
I don't think that was in the episode.
No, I'm saying like the other episode. It's like episode 7.
Yeah, okay, 6. Yeah, it was a different episode.
I love that episode as well, and I love that conversation and that scene. There was a couple things, like the scene where like Laurie Blake confronts the wife and she like hits the button and she falls down.
That was funny.
And you realize
it's like really a trapdoor. Are we serious?
And you realize she's like a part of the racist stuff.
All right. Favorite character.
Obviously,
or favorite performance from that character. What is?
I honestly think this was Regina King's show. I honestly think this was insane.
Regina King.
She was really good. I loved Hooded Justice as the old man version as well. And kind of his role, especially at the end, where like he's just like you realize he was just doing what he was told by Dr. Manhattan.
For me, I have to go with Jeremy Irons, Adrian Veidt.
Amazing.
Just because
he has the hardest job.
Yeah. I'm trying to make it not about what happened, what they did, because that's the writing. Because obviously, I'd be like, oh, it's her or it's the Hooded Justice. Just because he had to do all that acting and that skill and pull off that intelligence with the limited amount of resources he had around.
Yeah.
I think his acting skills carried so much weight in this movie that made you believe that he was this intelligent.
Almost basically a movie.
Yeah, the show. Yeah, the show. That he believed he carried his intelligence. That he was working Dr. Manhattan and still doing his own thing. The fact that he could go against his daughter, that he had all these things planned. He made everything so believable that I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is the smartest man on earth. And every episode, he's proving to me why he is.
Yeah.
And he went from, in the beginning, he didn't go as that, right? In the beginning, he was like, all right, this guy's crazy and insane, and he's in prison.
He wants you to believe that he's lost it.
Exactly.
And in reality, he knows exactly what he's doing.
But in each time you see him, he plants a little bit of a seed, like, all right, he's insane, but he's intelligent.
Let's call
like,
gangs.
When he killed everybody in that that scene in that living room. He was like, oh, you have to clean up this mess. I just went and killed everybody.
Yeah.
Like, he has the skills. Like, this sociopath, this intelligent person, and now he's back in Antarctica, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
I also love the scene with him in Manhattan.
So good. Conversation. Great back and forth.
Where, like, they, like, almost like John, like, well, of course, only you would be so bold to show up in your birthday suit. Show.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a show like this, which is really tough to say in 2019 when we've seen so much television, so much content, so many things that you could be like, oh, this show's kind of like this show's kind of like this. I think somehow, in a brilliant way, they have made a show
that is so unique to them.
That is so unique to Watchmen, and only Watchmen. I don't know if you can really compare it. They took real things from history that if you listen to David Lindelof's like thing about with Mark Bernard and how he talks about, like, I found this out through reading Ta-Nehisi Coates, who writes Captain America, by the way.
He's a good author.
And he writes
Arthur.
Great author. He writes his own books and does novels and does a lot of like Black American history books that like shit that we don't really know, like this. And he's like, I found this out through this book and it bothered the shit out of me. And it was something that no one talked about. It was something that no one knew about. I would bring it up in conversations at dinner. I would bring it up in conversations and it would upset people and kind of ruin the mood, but no one knew. It was almost like a test to see if they even knew this existed and happened in our history. And it grew into something where he's like, somehow I have to put this in a medium that I do as, like, this is my job to get this out there and for people to know. And I think he did his fucking job.
He did very well. This show, touching, sorry for stuttering. This show did justice to the comic book medium and the nerd culture, but still hit on these social issues in such a profound way. And usually when we watch these shows, like, they kind of touch on on these social issues a little bit here and there. But this felt like more, all right, they eased us into the weird, the crazy, the comic booky, the superhero-esque, the pop culture stuff. And they made this show so much, especially in the early episodes, primarily touching on these social issues, the injustices in this world. Like, you were hooked onto this. Mm-hmm. Like, you almost forgot this was about a giant blue man with a giant magical dick, right? You forgot about, like, oh, this is about...
Who didn't show up to the last 2 episodes.
Oh, you forgot about this was about this villain that dropped a giant... sea squad, what was it?
The squid. Yeah.
Giant squid on New York and killed 3 million people. Mm. Like, you forgot all about this because you were so interested in that tight, immediately tight family thing. I'm sorry. I'm
waiting for you to figure it out.
I'm done. My brain's fried.
It's something that, like, you're trying to like. I get what you're saying. Like, you almost forget it's a superhero show
because they're focused on such a small narrative in this one town.
It's a family story.
Yes, thank you.
It's actually a family story.
I got there eventually. Thank you.
Where,
for being
like,
patient.
you're thinking of, like, hey, the captain gets killed. Don Johnson's dead in episode 1.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
I didn't think would happen.
He's dead in episode 1.
He was doing cocaine at Christmas party.
That was great.
What are you doing?
in front of the kids.
And the wife's like,
yeah, right.
And I'm like, I guess cops could do coke now. It's good to know.
So, like, you have all this stuff with characters that you're kind of, like, just into, and then it grows into this massive, like, oh, this isn't just about superheroes. This is about race.
Yeah.
This is about good versus evil. This is about heavy Southern racism and white supremacy and the fight that still goes on. One of the best parallels that we were talking about that I think is very prevalent is you compare the times as well, right?
Yes.
Hooded Justice with the white eye mask because he has to hide who he is. And Angela's character, when she goes out as Sister Night, she has the black one, almost like overly being black. Like, it's 2019. You're going to know that you're getting your ass kicked by a black woman.
Yeah.
Like, you are going to know because I have this black eyeshadow on top of my skin. Like, the parallels between that, her grandfather, and now her were so, like,
they both
very
wore hoods.
Cleverly done. Yes.
It was very subtle, but obvious afterwards.
Oh, even the episode with the other Hooded Justice, the one where he's in the precinct and beats the shit out of the guy.
Oh, that was a TV episode. Yeah,
the TV episode thing where they thought he was white, and underneath it's like they knew he was gay, and they thought he was white, but in reality, it wasn't a white guy.
Yeah.
So, like, just all these things that happen in this show, I think it was brilliant. It's definitely going to be on my list. It might be the number 1 show of the year for me.
What's competing with number one?
I don't know if anything can compete with the show this year, Rob. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff. I think Chernobyl was brilliant, also on HBO. True Detective was really good this year. A Mandalorian just got really good and kind of tied everything in.
Mandalorian. Witcher just came out.
Which I want to.
I know we're backlogged. We're looking at older stuff.
But again, this year, 2019, that stuff happened early in the year, and there's a lot of TV out there. I think it's really hard to compete with the show on more than one level. You know, I think it was funny because I think a lot of people didn't talk about it because they went in thinking it was going to be like, oh, this is Watchmen, this is comics, and then realized it was the blackest show they've ever seen, and it made them uncomfortable and stopped watching it.
I don't think a lot of people stopped.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that were a little too uncomfortable with the subject matter, especially in the beginning, because it's a jarring thing. And there's a lot of people out there who, I have family members who are black who are like, yeah, I don't want to think about slavery and crazy shit like that. We're past that. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about this. I don't want to talk about it. I want to enjoy myself while watching TV. I don't want to think about how shitty life is all the time.
And on that note, guys, that wraps up our review of Watchmen Season 1. Let me know down in the comments below who your favorite character is, what your favorite scene is, and if this is going to make it on your top 5 list. Yes. And stay tuned. In the next coming weeks, we are going to do our end-of-year wrap-up, where we do top 5 movies, comics, and TV shows.
And video games.
And video games. Let us know if you're excited for that. And guys, that wraps up this episode of the Jersey Comic Krew podcast, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff down in the comments below. Hit that bell icon. That really helps us out. Keep us growing. Make sure you keep the conversation going on all of our social media platforms, yes. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And this is probably coming out after Christmas, so we want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hope you guys had a fun time.
Happy holidays.
Have a good New Year if you don't come back to us before the New Year. Chris, I've been staring at this package the whole time. Can you please grab one of those, probably this one on the back from the wrapping paper?
Oh, because the wrapping paper is cool?
Yeah, I really like the wrapping paper.
Yeah, this is Erica's dirty work. Wow, this is kind of heavy. I don't even know what this is. But
is it for you?
I guess so. Yeah, but we got Ninja Turtles.
The Ninja Turtle wrapping paper.
I love it.
I would love this as a gift.
Yeah, they have antlers.
Yes, just the wrapping paper. I don't care what's in it. Let's shake it. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait,
I feel like it's a box.
Let me hold it.
I'm gonna go. No, it's my present.
I'll give it back.
I'm not holding my present.
I want to try to figure out what it is too.
No, it's my present.
I'm thinking. You have any guess what it is?
Huh?
You have any guesses?
I'm gonna go with the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? I don't know. I'm not. I don't care.
You don't guess?
I don't care. No, I don't care. I'm not a big holiday person. Yeah,
I can see.
Because my hat's better. Yeah.
Oh, this is a hat of a veteran. This is a veteran's hat. That is the rookie's hat.
No, this is a clean hat.
All right, rookie. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
JerseyComicKrew.podbean.com